Good morning, Matt Dela Cruz here with the Winning Minds Group, part of the John Maxwell team, and welcome to Mondays with Matt. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. Looking forward to another extraordinary week this week as we wrap up the last Monday of the month of November. That's right, December is right around the corner, and I hope you took some time to at least think about the goals. If you didn't take the time to write them down, at least you took the time to think about the goals that you want to achieve in 2019, of anything you wanted to be, do, or have in this new year that's coming up. But in order to go through that, we have to go through what we call change. And it's one of the biggest things and the hardest things for a human being to do, and that is to go through change. And I love this quote by George Bernard Shaw. He says, "Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." George Bernard Shaw. So it really goes back to that whole process of how do we go through that? So remember, we have to go through the mental preparation first versus the physical preparation, because it's more of the mental part, and I think we all know and we all understand that. But how do we go through that process? And I want to share that with you today, because if you've been through my seminars, you know that I teach the cycle of performance or the cycle of transformation, because it takes 66 days to go through that. Maslow says we either step into growth or we step back into safety. And the thing about growth and the thing about change is this. Growth doesn't happen automatically. Growth doesn't happen accidentally. Growth only happens on purpose. So you have to set the mind to be intentional. That means you got to go on purpose. You want to grow in an area, whether it be spiritual, family, career, financial, social, mental health. 97% of the American population will start the new year without goals in writing for all 7 areas of their life. But if you take the time and you do say, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write down goals, whether it be one goal in each area, but if you had those 7 goals that you were going to change in each area of your life, and all of a sudden you worked at it and you stayed committed for 66 days, I guarantee you within that third month, you're going to see a completely different you. In fact, you won't even see it. Everyone else will see it. That's when you know that whole process is working. So I'm going to take you through that cycle of performance. Keep in mind, it's a 66-day transformation. And the first thing that we all go through is this thing called inception. So we want to go from here to the new us, the new identity. And the inception part is the part of you that loves to start. You've seen the light. I'm going to go for it. I'm excited about it. I can do this. The diet, quit drinking, save money, pay off a credit card, spend more time with family, make 20 more calls, regardless of what it is. That's the part of us. That's the inception. It's the part of the brain that loves to start. And then it lasts maybe 24 to 48 hours. Some people it'll last a week. But then we go through the second phase of the cycle of transformation. It's called deception. It's the part of you that wants to give up. It's the self-sabotage. We start talking ourselves out of doing what we should be doing instead of talking ourselves into what we should be doing. And that's what we call deception. We've all gone through it. Every human being goes through that because, again, remember, it's all about habits. And a habit is an ingrained behavior, and it's due to a pattern of repetition that we do. So we have a pattern repetition of doing the right things, or we have a pattern repetition that does the wrong things. Therefore, we have either good habits or bad habits. And you can break that change anytime you want, as long as you can identify that you're going through that phase. So remember, when you go through that phase of deception, that's when you got to train, discipline, and condition the mind to talk yourself back into staying with it until you get to breakthrough, which is really that third step that we're talking about. And that third step is called transformation. And this is the part of you that determines to stick with it. Usually it's because somebody says or you start feeling it. Let me give you an example. If you've been on, let's say, a diet and your goal was to lose 15 pounds, and that first 30 days is now all of a sudden you went from inception to deception. Now you're in the turning point right there called cycle, it's called transformation. And then all of a sudden you get to that point and you say, gosh, man, I've been doing this thing for 30 days. You can feel a little bit. Your clothes are a little bit looser. It's when somebody else says, hey, you look good. It looks like you lost some weight. That's when you get to that transformation. That's when you determine to stick with the journey to go through it. And then you'll go through that next part, and the next part is going when you get to the new identity. Now, the new identity, this is the part of you that feels that you've always done this, and because now it's 66 days. You've arrived. You went from not caring about health to being a healthy person, not caring about money to being a wealthy person. We go through that cycle of transformation. It's a 66-day commitment. But I think it's imperative that you think about that, start it, ingrain it in your mind as you go through this process about not only just setting goals, because anybody can set them. It's the difference about achieving them. It's the bragging rights that say, look what I've done. But remember, it's that first step. So we go from inception to deception to transformation to new identity. And the new identity, all of a sudden, you don't need to set a goal to eat right and exercise because now it's part of your identity. That's what's exciting about understanding the cycle of transformation. So think about that this week as you start planning and start writing down your goals for 2019, because the cycle of transformation will keep you on track where you will achieve not only the success you're looking for, but you'll achieve greatness as well. So until next week, live with passion, live intentionally, and let's just make sure that we're identifying the cycle of transformation. Thanks so much. Make it a great day. We'll talk to you next week.